Alright, taking a look at Ana gameplay.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Game start.
Bad guys. Heads
Okay, so first thing is playing down here is like okay, but really ideally you should be playing high ground somewhere, either top right up here, or probably the best is at least starting out in the like the tunnel, covered tunnel area. There's some windows that you can look out of, and then you can rotate. Like if you need to drop down here to help out your team, then that's fine, but you should start high ground. And I guess so. Just as an overall thing, I watched this VOD through briefly, and kind of three main things you want to work on. One is positioning, especially on defense. Kind of defaulting to high grounds and like safe areas. And then two is your nano usage, or like planning for nano. And what I mean by that is both being aware of when you have nano coming up, and like thinking ahead of time on who you're going to use it on. And then like probably telling that person as well. And then the third is I noticed there's a lot of times where you have your cooldowns but you don't use them for like 30 seconds or more. And I don't play Ana all that much, so I can't tell you like specific like here's like the best time to use sleep, or here's the best time to use Bionade. But just in general, like if you haven't used either of them in 30 seconds, that's definitely way too long, and you need to like find ways to get value out of them. And that can be just by experimenting. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to throw them both at the same time together. You want to stagger them out a little bit, because once you use both of them, then you're really vulnerable. And right now, for example, they have a ball, where if you use both of these, he can just come in, like slam you and kill you. But if you never use either of them, also that's also like not getting enough value out of Ana's kit, because if you're just healing, then Moira does a lot more healing, and Bap can heal the entire team better than Ana can. It's really about the utility here that is what makes Ana strong. So yeah, so I'll try to point out examples of those three things. Yeah, so because your team is pushing up so far, like probably if you were playing the window, you would have had to drop in order to heal them here, but it's still better to start up there, because you can always drop down, but once you're down here, it's a really long rotation to get back up. Okay, and so here, there's like two people that are low. Probably good to might be a good time to throw a nade for healing. For example, maybe you nade this side and then you can focus on healing the D.Va, or you can nade D.Va and heal her up quickly, and then be able to focus on these guys, the Ashe and the Rein. Instead of like without using this now, like D.Va's still kind of low up there, Rein's kind of low, Ashe is missing some health as well, and it's hard for you to deal with all three of these problems at the same time, because you can only heal one target at a time, and you can only heal so fast. And then just notice that if you had been up here, then it'd be a lot easier to heal your Mercy here as well. And then to solve the problem of your team going around this corner, one way is like telling them not to, like telling them to play here. But if they still push, you might have to drop, but like at least you would have more options. Let's try with the nano, the nade there. So where you're healing from over here is pretty scary because their team can see you. If you're healing this side, you can actually, yeah. So there's this forklift, right? You can be farther back to your right and still have view on the important thing, which is right here. So especially when you don't have your cooldowns, you want to be in a safer position. So okay, yeah, so like standing like right here would be really good. But right, so like you start walking up, right? And then okay, I see why you push past the corner. But once your team comes out, now you can go back again. You don't need to be here anymore. The other thing is that like I know your team like went that way and then like came back out, so they kind of faked you out anyway. But when your team starts retreating, ideally you would want to come back here to heal them. It's safer and you're not crossing the enemy line of sight. So in this situation, it actually wouldn't have worked out because they like went back and then they like immediately went back forward again. But you know, ideally they would have kept going back and you could have met them on the side. Yeah. I don't know why your Ryan's pushing up when he's low, but if they should have backed and you should have gone that way to meet them. Yeah, I mean, if your Mercy had called out that res, you could have pocketed her, and your D.Va could have matrixed matrix you. So now you guys are down to. Okay, and so you just got your nano, but you guys are down to, so I don't know. You end up using it on the D.Va here. There's probably a lust fight, most likely. Maybe it'd be better to save it here. Okay. So let's go back a little bit to when you were close to the nano. Okay. Yeah. So like at this point, you're like close to nano. You should be starting to think about when you're going to use it. But in this case, your Ryan and your Mercy had just died here, right? So I think you kind of should be thinking like, oh, I'm not going to use it because we're down 2. So it's hard to like make the right decision in the moment, like right here. But whenever you're getting close to nano, if you can start thinking about like, okay, how am I going to use this, and being aware that you have it, then it makes it a lot easier to make the decision of, okay, I'm not going to use it here because we're already down. And then let's see when you got your cooldowns back, because I feel like it's been a little while also. Okay, this is when, yeah, so you have nade back. Mercy dying is not your fault. You have shift back, or the sleep back. You can maybe chuck a nade here. It'll help you heal the D.Va, and also, you know, you can catch the Ana. I feel like there might be one more here. Yeah, there's a McCree or something. Could maybe throw a sleep here. Or on the ball after he bumps you. Just you hear the Rhine, you know the ball went past, you can just like sleep one of them.
You're powered up. Get in there.
You do use a nade here, that's fine. You could have naded yourself and the D.Va. So you left click the D.Va twice here. Right. So starting here, it's 1, 2. if you naded first, then left click, you would both heal her more and also put yourself up. Like you would heal. Oh, I guess you end up using it on yourself, so you would have healed yourself the same amount, but slightly earlier, and maybe you could grab the mini, but you would have healed her a lot more because you would apply the nade healing on her and also, 50% more healing on your left click that you hit.
You're powered up. Get in there. Much better.
Yeah, and if you turned earlier, this Rhine wouldn't be swinging at you, or the ball wouldn't be on you. And maybe that slows down the damage enough for your Rhine to get back or something like that. But I mean, this fight is like this is a losing fight anyway because the Rhine and the Mercy died early, so it probably wouldn't have changed things. But who knows? Maybe it would have been slightly. Maybe it would have, and it definitely would have been slightly better. Okay, so default positions here. You really would prefer to be. Okay. So like this spot is okay, but I think you would really prefer to be up here or up here. Basically, being here, you have the same sight lines as you do from here, but there's one less angle of attack on you. But the flank behind you doesn't work. And if like their soldier or something flanks all the way long up here, then you can always drop. Whereas if you're down here and someone flanks from that side, you're just kind of stuck and you don't have anywhere to go. You have to like walk all the way across. So default to high ground positions. If your team is pushed up, you can even play up here or up here. It's a really weird. Okay, that's a really good sleep because his drop animation is super predictable. So you get this 100% of the time, right? So I like that. Now, see if you were up here or up here, you wouldn't get shattered here. It's all fine. There's an Anna right behind you, apparently. I think she was to your right when you came out of the door. But you're just trying to stall here, so I don't. One thing is your nade does clear the mines in one hit. So if you nade it slightly in front of you, you would have more path to walk forward. Nade does 80 on impact, and these mines have 50 health. So one other small trick is Hammonds. A lot of the time they like to like slam and then mine, which like basically puts like mines under you and you're up in the air. In those situations, if you nade at your feet, so basically you're up in the air, you nade straight down, then it will clear all the mines around like far enough that you will never die to the mines because they won't be there. So small trick, I guess. I'm not sure if probably Moira's banned in this hero pool, I'm assuming, because neither team has Moira. But for recontest, Moira or Brig might be better than Anna. Although I guess Brig would be kind of low heals with the first. But both those characters do a better job of stalling. You do have like pretty high. You are pretty close to Nano here, so maybe it's worth the stake. But so you guys ended up winning that. Nice sleep on the Bob. Here, McCree's kind of crazy. Okay, but so now you should be using this time to rotate to the high ground again. So you can either go far right and go up the stairs, and go back through the arch and then to the right there's stairs, or you can go back through the arch to the left there's stairs, or on point to the left there's stairs. Yeah, so there's one way here, there's one way here, and then there's the stairs like over behind you.
Bad guys. Heads
up. I noticed that like it's pretty infrequent that you use your cooldowns offensively, and that's one thing that like you do have to do as Ana is like find attacking nades. And when you're on defense, like the context is not that, it might not necessarily be that you want to like hard push into them, but as like let's say their Rhine is walking in main, as he passes the choke, you can nade up here or like up on the other side on the pillar or on the like side of the wall basically, like over his shield, and it'll splash the team behind him. So like that's one way, and then you can look to push off of that, for example. But like preventing the other team from healing is really powerful. So like you don't want to always offensive nade because sometimes you do need it to heal, but if you can look for opportunities to use it offensively, it's really strong. It's what makes Ana so good.
You guys.
Damage increase.
Nice sleep there. Unfortunately, your McCree immediately wakes him up. So I guess like prior to this fight, go back, I guess. Like, yeah, so like this is before the fight starts, but you should know that you're close to Nano here. You should be thinking about like who you're gonna use it on. In this team comp, most likely Rhine. Maybe one of the DPS if they have ult. And maybe very occasionally the Hog if he has ult, but mostly the Rhine. But you need to be aware that you have this. Like it can save the Rhine. It can also allow him to be really aggressive and like stop their push.
You guys.
Damage increase.
So you have it now. And basically, this Hog is naded, so your left clicks are going to heal him for a lot, but this guy's in trouble, right? So if you nano him, then you can keep left clicking and heal here, and they'll both stay alive. Or slightly worse would be if you nano the Hog immediately. That will put him to full right away, and then you can left click this guy. Either is okay. I think better to nano Rhine and then heal Hog, but I guess you should, if you had made a plan for how you were going to use nano, like if you were kind of paying attention to your ult charge and then making a plan, you would be able to react right away as soon as you got this, rather than it seems like it takes a few seconds before you realize you have nano and then you use it, but the Rhine dies before you realize. Yeah, right, like you're looking to left click him, but you have this thing.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Yeah, so it works out. I don't think he used sleep this entire fight. Oh, I guess you did. Okay. But then later on here, remember like the last time you slept the ball when he slammed? Same deal here. Like, if you sleep him here, I think your Rhine has charge. He doesn't. I don't remember using it. There's probably like a sleep, a charge into the wall over here, and an easy kill. But instead the ball gets out. So. Yeah, just be aware of your cooldowns. Alright, that's good. got woken up right away again, unfortunately. But that's obviously not under your control. Okay. Oh, I remember this. Your Doom like prevents you from healing your Ryan because he stands in front of you, and he's like barely missing anything. But I think you had the opportunity to use a nade here on your Ryan. So let's go back a little bit. Yeah, okay, so at this point, he takes a ton of damage. You can definitely chuck this nade in here. It'll also purple their hog, which is good. You're getting like double value, right? Like just using it on your Nana is just using it on your Ryan is good enough, but you also get this at the moment. Nice sleep.
Going to be okay.
Yeah, but like you guys kind of get rolled because the Rhine died. And I think you definitely could have saved him there with the nade. I think if the Doomfist hadn't stood in front of you, he probably still would have died just from life if you were only left clicking him. Because they were like all on top of him. But maybe with the nade you save him. Maybe he dies anyway. I'm not sure, but it would have given you a much better chance. Alright, start of round, always look at your team comp and think about how you're going to use your abilities. The big one being Nano again is maybe maybe the Genji with Nano Blade. Ryan's always a good option, especially like with grab, like nanoing Ryan into it. Or Zarya alone if she's high charge is a fine target as well.
Capture objective A. Hello.
Normally when your team splits, you should follow the Reinhardt. Not a big deal here, but better default. While they're purpled, you can maybe look for an opportunity to use your cooldowns here, because you can't heal them anyway. Maybe you can like walk up to this corner and like you can see if there's something you can do. I don't know, just one way to like start getting some utility here. Okay, but of course, like if you do that, you just want to take a quick peek and like maybe use one of them. You wouldn't want to like only focus on this, because as soon as the purple wears off, you do want to be healing them, of course.
Get back in the fight.
A slight positioning problem here is like you're standing here, but your team's going this way. So what's going to end up happening is you have to cross this gap, and their team's like standing over here. So there's only a chance that you die while crossing. So when you're Ryan like step back here, you kind of want to make it across with him. So like right here, you kind of want to make this cross with him. If you're like Lucio or Brig or Mercy, then it doesn't matter as much because you have an ability to cross, but you're like you have a cooldown that you can use to cross. But as Ana, it's like pretty scary, and Zen too. Like crossing this gap, you can definitely die.
Get back in the fight.
Yeah, so like I don't know if you can like walk up with him. Not sure if you're scared of the fire strike but it already went through. Not sure if there's something else to do that. That came through after. I don't know. I feel like you had enough time there. And then if you're worried about being in the open, you could like cross and like stand right here, I guess, for example. But you cross behind your Ashe anyway, so I guess it works out. It's probably fine. So again, you know, 40 seconds in, you've used these maybe once or twice, but if you can find more opportunities to use them, it would be better. Could have maybe swept the ball there.
Get that.
I think I remember. See, your mercy died to the. Oh yeah, here. So your mercy dies to two Rhine swings, which is 150, plus the ball rolling through her, which is another 50, which is 200. I think you could have maybe looked to sleep the Rhine. Here, if you sleep him, it denies the second swing. She's at 100 right now. And then when she got rolled through by the ball, it wouldn't kill her.
Get that.
So in this situation, you guys lost 2, so here you could use your nade just to heal these guys, because basically you know you're not going to push in the next 10 seconds because you're waiting for spawns. So you can just like use these a little bit more freely. You don't have to hold them as much. Yeah, like maybe just nade the dash.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
But your mercy has res anyway, so it works
We
out.
still need you.
Alright, so now you're going into a fight. You have nano. You should be thinking about how you're going to use it. There's 2 options really. One is wait for nano blade. That's one option. The other is to help your Rhine engage with nano. Basically, like as you guys walk in, you nano him, and then he can like play super aggressive, and you guys can all push together, and that'll help him build his shatter as well. So either one is fine, but you should probably be, well, one, you should be thinking about it before you guys walk in. 2 is communicate it to them and then execute on it. So it's either, hey Ryan, I'm gonna nano you, let's play aggressive, or hey, let's wait for nano blade. One of those two options.
Hey.
Okay. You definitely heard the ball like swinging, and then there's like that whooshing sound, like when he's preparing to drop. So there should be another easy sleep. And if you land the sleep here, most likely your Rhine should have charge, and then there should be a dead ball, and then you have a 6v5. Again, here you kind of have the same problem of like needing to cross in the open, but here your team's like making a lot of space because they're pushing you aggressively, so these guys probably won't be looking at you. But just kind of either crossing with your team when they were here, or maybe playing from inside the building while you're waiting for respawns. Then you're on this side already to cross with them, rather than having to move across this gap would be better. Nice sleep here. So he definitely didn't tell you. Probably, I'm assuming that he didn't tell you that he was gonna blade, because normally what they can do is dash up, because blade gives you dash cool reset, or it resets your dash, so they can dash up, you can nano them, and then they can dash in and start slashing. But if you guys had made the plan before coming into choke, then maybe that'd be easier to coordinate, for example. So he is on your screen there, so it is still possible to nano him. Maybe you don't need it because the Reaper died right away, and then he got the Ana already. So if this was like, oh, I'm gonna hold it because we already got 2 kills, then that totally makes sense. You guys should just clean this up. Bob probably wasn't necessary. Better to win the fight than not, I guess. You guys have 4 more ults coming up, basically. So you still have this nano now, and you're pushing second, so you should make a plan for it still. Most likely, in like a organized team environment, the plan should be that you guys push. Ryan looks for shatter. If he misses shatter, then Zarya grabs, and then you nano the Ryan into the grab to let him kill stuff, and also to build a second shatter. In ranked, probably just like thinking, okay, I'm gonna nano Ryan when he shatters or when Zarya grabs is like good enough. Okay, yeah, this was super unlucky. So you pushed ahead the Rhine shield, but I mean that hook also like kind of went through the Rhine as well. So here, your Rhine's here, right? And you like walk in front of him. He was definitely aiming for the Rhine, and like by the time the hook gets here, your Rhine's kind of in front of you, but I don't know, unlucky, I guess. But you still, you stepped around the corner in front of your Rhine, so if you didn't do that, you definitely wouldn't get hooked here. Kind of feels like you shouldn't have gotten hooked here anyway, but you could have prevented this, like for sure. Mercy doesn't have res, I guess.
في الامتحان يكرم
Just
المرء
stay
أو
alive.
يهان.
Just skip for it a little bit. Yeah, you play slow, which is good. While you're okay, so okay, nice. Yep, nano the Rhine into the screen. This nade here, I guess like so it only catches the hog, and he hasn't. I don't know if you saw him use vape yet, so he might just be able to like wait this out and then heal up afterward. It is good if you can all focus him right away, but both their supports I think are over here. It's like the Ana and someone else are standing over there. That might be a better nade, or if you just wait a little bit more and like nade the hog when he starts using breather, then it denies him that cooldown. But I don't know. I do kind of feel like it's better to be like actively looking for opportunities to use stuff rather than holding it. But there might have been a better place to use it in this situation. So not bad, but maybe could be better. Okay. So I don't like your positioning right here at the moment, but you do back off and you play like farther away, which is really good. Okay. And maybe it was because the Reaper kind of forced you out, but like yeah, like from back here, you're a lot safer from like people like running through these areas. It's a lot harder to see you through your team, and like stuff on high ground, for example, you have like this cover. Yeah, so basically by playing back here, you can see everything you need to see, and you're safer from all these different angles. So that's why I like playing far back is really good. And you could maybe even like hug the cover a little bit better, or like maybe this side. Well, this side's a little harder because this thing is in your way. Or like even the room right behind you with the mini, you could play in that doorway, for example. Um, but you know, this is good. Playing up here is pretty risky. They can see you from that side right away, for example. But back and with cover would be even better. So that doorway over there too. Yeah, where you are right now is perfect. Yeah, see, also like if you were over there still, you get hit by that shatter, right? One small thing is you should be hearing the Ana shooting from this side. You could look to like nade her or something, or just call it out. It's not really your job to deal with her, but like in 2CP, like killing the healers is really important because the healers are what enable like the long stalls, and then defense has spawn advantage. So if they end up stalling and like getting healed up, and it's hard for your team to kill them, and then they get more spawns and more spawns, then you end up like draining a lot of time. So if you can um, call out the healers or like do something about them yourself, um, that's how you like ensure wins on these points. Okay, so positioning wise, this is I like this more than the where you were standing before, which is like up here. It's a little bit more restricted, of course, but you can still see all the way through on the left side of truck. I would still prefer up here in the bridge with the windows, or like back right high ground, or like far right, back left high ground, or far right high ground.
Hello.
The windows I mean are like right here, the ones right here. I'm not a big fan of this thing that you're looking for here. High ground is good, but if you get up here, the only cover you have is this. And in the case that they're playing dive or something, if they jump you up here, then you're just kind of dead. Because if you drop off that way, then they can just drop off after you, and your team can't help you at all because they're going to be like over here or something. And if you drop this way, then the rest of their team is going to be there, like everyone that didn't dive. So Ash has movement; she can like get away. Mercy can of course fly away. But as Ana, you don't really want to be up here. Or at least not by yourself. If you have a setup with like a Mei or something that walls everyone up here, or if you have like a Diva or something, that might be fine. But not just by yourself with these guys.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A. Do what I say, and this is the
One way you might be able to use your nade here is kind of the same concept as the choke on second defense. As their Rhine walks through, you can look to nade against like this sign, or like against these corners, like these walls, and basically catch everyone behind the shield. So you like he walks up, his shield is here, you nade up here, and it'll splash down and hit everyone behind. I'm not saying that like right this moment you can do it. That's just kind of an example. Yeah, like when the Rhine walked through, although it's just him right now, but like if the team was like walking through here, nading up here would catch all of them. Okay, so like going after Rhine is the right idea here, but peeking out is really scary because their team is here. So you can shoot the same angle at the Rhine if you're just a little bit further back and using the forklift as cover from these guys. Then you can see the Rhine and they can't see you, and that would be the ideal situation. Whoops. How do I do that? Okay. Yeah, right. Like these guys, Junk's looking at you. She should be looking at you. You should be dead here. They don't turn, but that's not good. Yeah. So like where you back up to, you're like right over a little bit further even. You still have view on all of this, and it denies like these guys from being able to shoot you.
Watching your back.
Yeah, like right here, I think. Okay, and so it's about 35 seconds in. I don't think you use your cooldowns yet.
Go.
So right here might be a good spot good timing to nade above shield. Pretty scary, right? This guy can kill you for sure, and even the Zarya. Good nade. You're on a really good angle here for the sleep. Oh yeah, you do go for it. Nice. That would have been really good. Good try though. There, I don't know. You just got nade back, but I think you had enough time to hit them, and then it would maybe save them from one more swing of Ryan's hammer. And you guys probably still lose this, but maybe every once in a while that's enough to like save them long enough to like for everyone else to kill someone or something. You can look at that again. So it's on cooldown. Yeah, you get it back here, right? And it's this next swing that kills them. But if you just throw it here, I think you get it in time. Yeah, he's like winding up his swing. Yeah. Oh, he hasn't nanoed though, so maybe they would die anyway. I'm not sure, but you got it back anyway, so it's worth a try if you're paying attention to your cooldowns. Maybe you would have thrown it.
60 seconds.
You're just stalling. Totally fine. It wouldn't make sense to use nano here, so that's good to hold it. But now, so you know you're gonna be just defending second. You have nano. You can think about like how you're gonna use this. Oh, you're Genji bladed. Died. That's unfortunate. That would have been a good combo. But you can think like, okay, I'm gonna use it on Rhine or Zarya if they're high charge. Again, playing here is okay, but it's better to play high ground.
New defense point. Objective B. I have your back.
Yeah, like this is also fine, but it'd be better to be on high ground. When your team's pushed up like this, you can be on this. Like you can play like these more aggressive high grounds if you want. Gives you better angles for like nades and stuff. But the bridge thing in the back is still always good. Yeah, as they push, this might be a good place to like nade here or on the not like this thing, but the far wall on the left side as well. You can catch the people behind the shield. Okay, so you guys put Bob in. This might actually be a good time to nano your Rhine, because the Bob is like creating a huge distraction. There's a Zarya here, and they're like backing up from the Bob, but like because of the Bob, like you guys can push pretty aggressively here. Because the Bob is taking a lot of attention. So if you nano your Rhine, he can get a lot of damage in, and maybe like kill 1 or 2, and then that's a 1 fight and probably a 1 round because they don't have a whole lot of time left. They would have to like rush back. Definitely when your Rhine gets low here, I would nano him.
Heroes never die.
It's all okay. You can still nano him this whole entire time. Now that the Bob is gone and your team has started backing up, maybe not as ideal, but you can still nano him here for sure. It wouldn't be bad. Okay, and then with the grab, you definitely nano your Rhine. He can kill everything with it. Yeah, I mean, this isn't, this is not bad. She's high energy, but if you had nanoed with the grab, then he stays alive, and most likely, like, one of their team dies. Like, someone in the grab dies. And you're probably advantaged here. Yeah, so... Oh, right, they don't end up full capping this. But you could have won it, like, with, you could have full held second point for sure. So I know it's like you're trying to stay alive and stall. If you can manage to like distract their, like, be shooting their supports as well during all of this, which I know is like very hard, but if you can, kind of the big basically, in order to prevent this cap, what you guys need is to get a pick, and then like once you have a pick, then you guys have spawn advantage, so you'll start like winning slowly unless they get like ults and like get picks back. But the best way to get a pick is, I mean, one is obviously if there's a low target and it's being called, shoot it. But the second best thing, if there isn't any specific target that's being called or low, then if you can kill their healers or just distract them enough that they can't keep healing their team, then all the damage the rest of your team is doing is permanent, and eventually someone will die. So if you can manage to, like, do all this wall jumping while shooting or booping some of their supports at times, that's how you can kind of like really impact this fight. But obviously that's hard to do in the middle of all this chaos and while trying to stay alive. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so your hog got the assist, and I got killed by your Ashe. So that's kind of why you guys end up winning here. Yeah, nice. All right, so.
I will keep you here.
I like the attempt there. Yeah, like maybe not like the most likely thing to hit, but maybe he leaves his shield down a little bit and a little bit longer, and you get it. Yeah, so good. Nice try there. I remember, yeah, so you end up backing up here, and this kind of creates the problem again where, like, your team's on this side, and you're gonna have to cross this open space to go back to like pushing with them. It's a little bit risky. I think in this situation it is tough because like your other option is to stay like right behind this truck. And it's somewhat risky. Like they might push you here because your Ryan's shield is pretty low, I think. That's why he went in the room. So it is. I don't know. Like this might be safer than staying there, but it does kind of create that problem. I don't know if it's possible for you to like back up this way or maybe stay here. I guess you do want to keep your sight line on the Rhine, so it's maybe this is the only thing you could do, but something to think about, I guess. Yeah, it's a good name. Yeah, I like that you're going for these abilities here. It's a little bit scary for you to be out wide so far, because there's like this empty space that they can shoot through. I don't know if you could be slightly more to the right, just so that these people are between you and the enemy, that would be good. Especially like you can peek to the side to like throw that sleep dart maybe, because it's hard to see through them obviously. But after you use the dart, move back that way and like use them as cover essentially. And then when you get to this part, I mean, I guess in theory the other team should already know that you're here, but if they don't, it's better to hip fire than to scope shot, because the scope shot leaves tracers, so then they definitely know you're here. If you just hip fire, then it's less obvious where you are. And then once your team moves toward you, you can consider nading them to enable a faster push. I think it's also fine to save nade until it, like look for more value when you guys actually push in. But I don't know. This is another option, I guess.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Good nano. I don't like how your Rhine always charges with nano, but you still haven't used nade. They're pretty low, so right. You didn't use nade that entire fight. Right, back to yeah. Okay, so this is one here, or this is. Wait, okay. Did use nade. Okay. Right. Oh, right. That was a really good nade. You can nano your Rhine into their Rhine immediately after, because you can like blow up their Rhine.
You're powered up.
Kind of
Get in there.
Let's sleep also. Okay. I think just awareness of like when it comes back up. So like, I think you used it and then you didn't notice that you had it again. So there's like pretty big, like right here when you get split from the dragons, your tanks aren't gonna have support. So nading them to like make sure they stay alive is really important as well. Any of this time, you could nade your Rhine and the enemy's Zarya. That'd be good. You're still critical. You kind of LSs you there, but yeah, like you could definitely have gotten a second nade with value there.
60 seconds remaining.
You have to stand on the point to cap it. Hey. You could tell your Rhine to push up with the rest of the team here and just finish the cap yourself.
I am on fire! Come here and get good.
Or you could walk up ahead of your Rhine, because you can charge in to close the gap as well. Just to get there faster. That's a big pick. Nice. You catching their Rhine with that makes him have to back off, and that's huge because he was nanoed. So that's really good. So you're coming really close to nano here, and you should be kind of thinking about how you're going to use it. And in this situation, it's probably going to be your Rhine, so you can push in. Genji's not that close to Blade. But it could also be an option to say, okay, let's play for Nano Blade. But I feel like if you do that, you might not get 2 fights. And if you push right away with Nano Rhine, you can probably get a second fight. But it has to be like fairly soon. I'm not sure, but maybe maybe you're saving Nano to heal as well as like I feel like maybe you're saving Nano to burst heal a bit too much. It's perfectly fine to nano the Rhine at full health. Like it does like 200 or 250 heal, but like that part's not the most important part. It's just a nice bonus if you happen to need it. What's really important is the damage boost and the damage reduction. It boosts the target's damage by 50%, and it reduces incoming damage to the target by 50%. And what that does for Reinhardt is it lets him like basically do whatever he wants because his swings are doing like 110, and it's pretty hard for him to die unless he gets like super CC'd. So nanoing your Rhine here, especially when he's like almost on point like this, it forces all of the any team to push back, and then your team can like push in and like take high grounds and like take space. So like using it here is like actually really good, even if he's full health. It also lets him like not care about his barrier as much because like if he's out in the open with no shield and everyone's shooting him and he doesn't have nano, he probably dies. But with nano and then you healing him on top of it, he probably doesn't die. So like even right here would be perfect. And even still now, like he's missing 100 health, but if you nano him, it'll keep him alive long enough for the purple to wear off, and he'll be doing a lot of damage. So like even still, like right now, I think it's still fine to nano. Even if he's purpled. If he was like half, then I would say wait until the purple wears off, because when he's half, even if he gets nanoed, he can't really push. He just has to hold shield. So you kind of waste the effects of it. Like it would only keep him alive. But like at this point, missing 100 health, I think it's still fine to go for the nano here. Okay, and then nanoing reactively into grab, it's kind of bad because it's not going to save, like, basically, it's not going to save people in the grab. Like, it might keep your Rhine alive, but definitely the other people in the grab will die. It would be better to nano the Mercy, actually, so that either they both die or they both live. If you just nano the Rhine, then he definitely lives, but like if he lives and the Mercy dies, you can't really push anyway. And if the Mercy lives, then he would have lived without the nano anyway, also. And then like basically this like creates a situation where if the Rhine would have lived anyway, then it's a waste. If he would have died anyway, then they're both gonna die anyway. So then if you make him live instead of dying, it's actually doesn't do anything because your Mercy's still dead. So if you're gonna nano into grab, nano the squishy, but probably better to just not and see what happens, and then like use it on the next push. Okay, yeah. See, so they didn't die, but that means that without the nano, Ryan wouldn't have died anyway. And now, because you nanoed, they had enough. The other team didn't push, and so this nano kind of gets wasted. Like he can't do anything with it. He has a gap to close before he can swing, and it's about to run out.
Take every second
Nice sleep there from Zarya. But yeah, they just use their ults better on this last fight.
Defeat.
Yeah, so but yeah, so overall positioning, especially on defense, like defaulting to high grounds is really important. It makes you a lot safer, and it just like lets you do more also, and like just avoid stupid stuff like random shatters and flanks and stuff. Pay attention to your nano and make a plan for it before you get it every time. That way you can react faster, and you just like it's easier to think about the decision in advance rather than trying to make it on the spot. And also, like if you plan for it, then you can tell your teammates, and they can play better to use it rather than getting it and then having to like adjust to getting nanoed. And then lastly, like your cooldowns. Yeah, like there's so many times where you need to use them more often. I can't really tell you exactly how to use them better, but like banking the nades off walls and stuff like that is one way. But there are definitely some times, especially near the start of the round, where you have both cooldowns available for like 30 or 40 seconds before you use them the first time. And while you don't want to use them both at the same time, because then that leaves you vulnerable, you also don't want to never use them because the like the strength of Ana is her cooldowns. If you're just going for healing, then Moira heals more, and Bap probably also heals more because of his AoE heal. And so like the way to like outperform as Ana is to use her cooldowns effectively. Yeah, so that's basically it.